The weight of 60 years presses not on the bones, but on the mind. We search for a pill, a supplement, a secret to reclaim what time has taken. But what if the vitality you seek is not something to be added, but a burden to be dropped? We must look at this together, for the final insight is not what you expect, and it contains all the energy you will ever need. You must see it through to the end. Seeing clearly. So you have come here, a man of 60, 70, or perhaps more, and you are asking for the essentials, the vitamins, for energy, for what you call vitality and performance. It is a very serious question, is it not? We spend a lifetime accumulating, building, achieving, and then we find that the energy wanes, the fire is not so bright. And so the search begins for something to add, to supplement, to prop up the structure which we feel is beginning to decay. But before we speak of vitamins, can we look together, you and I, at the question itself? What is this energy that you seek? Is it merely physical, the ability to climb a flight of stairs without losing one's breath? Or is it something much deeper, a psychological energy, a freedom from the immense weariness of life, the weariness of conflict, of struggle, of constant becoming? You see, we must be very clear about what we are asking for. If one has a headache, one takes an aspirin. It is a simple mechanical process. But is the lack of vitality, this deep inner exhaustion, a simple problem with a simple chemical solution? Or is it the result of a whole way of living, a whole way of thinking that has been going on for 60 years? Let us inquire into this. The first essential thing, more important than any substance you can put into the body, is to see clearly. What does that mean? It means to observe without any distortion, to look at the fact of being 60, the fact of having less physical stamina, the fact of a changing body without the commentary of the mind. The mind says, this is bad, I should be stronger. I remember when I was 30, this is a decline, a failure. All that chattering, all that comparison is a tremendous drain of energy. It is a battle against what is. And any battle, any conflict is a source of exhaustion. Can you look at your body, at the feeling of tiredness, as you would look at a tree, or a cloud, or a flower? You don't condemn the flower when it begins to wilt. You simply see it. It is part of its process. You observe it with a certain affection, a certain care, without judgment. Can we look at ourselves in the same way? This act of clear seeing, of observation without the observer, is the beginning of all intelligence. The observer is the past. The observer is the accumulation of all your experiences, your knowledge, your fears, your hopes. It is the me who looks at the body and says, I am old, I am tired. But is that true? Or is there just the process of aging, the process of life, and the thought which creates a division, a conflict? To see this clearly, to see the fact without the word, without the label, without the judgment, brings an extraordinary sense of freedom. In that freedom, there is a different kind of energy. It is not the boisterous, aggressive energy of youth, but a quiet, immense, silent energy that comes from being in total harmony with what is. There is no friction. Think of a machine. If the parts are grinding against each other, there is friction, noise, and a waste of energy. The mind that is constantly in conflict with reality is a machine that is grinding itself to pieces. So, the first vitamin is not a pill. It is the quality of attention that sees without naming, without comparing, without judging. Can you do this? Can you for a moment just be with the feeling of your body as it is right now without a single thought about it? Look at your hands. They have worked for 60 years. See the lines, the skin, the shape, without the thought, these are my old hands. Just see them. In that seeing, there is a quality of silence, and in that silence, the mind, which is the source of all conflict and energy leakage, becomes quiet. This is not a theory. This is something to be done, to be experimented with. Don't believe me. You must discover it for yourself. Look at your relationships, your anxieties about the future, your regrets about the past. Look at them not as something to be solved, but just to see them as they are, moving within you. This clear perception is the foundation of a life without conflict, and therefore a life of immense quiet vitality. Emptying yesterday. Now, if we have looked together at the importance of seeing clearly without distortion, we must inevitably ask, what is it that distorts? What is the screen of noise, of images, of words that prevents us from seeing what is as it is? The screen is yesterday. The screen is the accumulation of 60 years of memories, of hurts, of pleasures, of knowledge, of authority, of tradition. The mind is the repository of the past. It is a museum of dead things, and we carry this museum on our back every single moment of our lives. Is it any wonder that we are tired? Imagine carrying a heavy sack filled with all the events of your life every single day. The weight would be unbearable. And yet, that is what we do psychologically. Our actions today are a reaction to yesterday. Our thoughts today are born of yesterday's conclusions. We are never fresh, never new. We meet the sunrise with the shadows of 1,000 yesterdays. This is the very essence of psychological weariness. So the second essential vitamin for vitality is the ending of yesterday. This is a profound and arduous thing to understand. It means psychological death, not physical death, of course, that will come to all of us, but the death of the burden of the past from moment to moment. Can you meet your wife, your friend, your child as if for the first time without the image you have built of them over years? That image is yesterday. That image is the source of all conflict in relationship. You don't see them, you see your memory of them, and they see their memory of you. So two memories are having a relationship, not two living human beings. Is there not an immense waste of energy in this? The constant friction, the nagging, the defense, the explanation. To have true energy, the mind must be fresh, young, innocent, and it cannot be innocent if it is burdened by experience. Look, sirs, experience is a form of knowledge, and knowledge is always of the past. A mind that is full of knowledge, of conclusions, of certitude, is a dead mind. It can only repeat. It cannot discover. It cannot see anything new. True performance, true vitality comes from a mind that is capable of meeting the challenge of the present, which is always new. And to meet the new, the mind must be empty of the old. This is what it means to learn. Learning is not the accumulation of more knowledge. That's just memory. True learning is the act of perception from moment to moment without the screen of the past. Can you end each day psychologically? End the hurts, the flatteries, the anxieties so that you wake up the next morning with a mind that is fresh and clear? This is not a metaphor. It is a deep psychological necessity. The process of emptying the mind of its content is meditation. Not the meditation of sitting in a certain posture and repeating some words, which is just another form of accumulation, another form of conformity. True meditation is to be aware of the movement of thought, of memory from moment to moment, and to see its nature, its structure, without judging it, without trying to stop it. In the very seeing of the falseness of carrying yesterday into today, the burden drops away. You don't have to do anything. The perception is the action. When you see a snake, you don't debate what to do, you move. The perception of danger is the immediate action. Similarly, when you really see, the immense deadening weight of the past, the mind frees itself. And in that freedom, there is an explosion of energy. It is the energy of creation, the energy of life itself, which is always in the present, always new. Dissolving me. We have looked at the necessity of seeing clearly and the necessity of emptying the mind of the past, of yesterday. Now we must come to the very root of the problem. We must ask the most fundamental question. Who is it that is trying to see clearly? Who is it that is burdened by the past? Who is this entity that seeks energy, performance, and vitality after 60 years? It is the me, the self, the ego, the thinker. We take it for granted that this me exists as a separate, permanent entity inside our skin. The whole of our culture, our religion, our education is built on this assumption. The me who achieves, the me who fails, the me who suffers, the me who is seeking enlightenment or a vitamin. But is there such a thing, or is the me itself a construction of thought? This is the final and most powerful insight, so please let us look at it together very carefully. What is this me? Is it not a bundle of memories, a collection of experiences, of qualities, of desires, of fears, all held together by a name, a form, your name, your job, your property, your beliefs, your country? All these are labels attached to this center, this me. This center is constantly seeking to protect and expand itself. It seeks pleasure and avoids pain. It wants security, permanency. It craves performance and vitality because it is terrified of its own ending, its own dissolution. This constant self-centered activity, this endless movement of becoming something, of protecting itself, is the primary source of conflict and the ultimate drain on all human energy. It is the very engine of sorrow. The me is the division. The me separates itself from you, from nature, from the world. And where there is division, there must be conflict. So the third and ultimate vitamin is not a vitamin at all. It is the complete understanding and therefore the dissolution of the self, of the me. When you see, not intellectually, not as an idea, but actually perceive that the thinker is not separate from the thought, that the observer is the observed, the whole structure of the self collapses. There is no me separate from the stream of thinking. There is only thinking. There is no experiencer separate from the experience. There is only the state of experiencing. When this is seen, the center is gone. The friction of the self trying to control, to dominate, to become ceases. And what is there when the self is not? Do not answer. Do not speculate. To speculate is to bring back the self that is guessing. One must find out. When the self is not, there is a completely different quality of being. There is silence. Not the silence between two noises, but a silence that is not of time. In that silence, there is an immense, boundless energy. It is not my energy or your energy. It is just energy. It is the energy of the cosmos, the energy of life itself. There is love, which is not attachment or pleasure, because the me who gets attached is not there. There is compassion, which is the passion for all things, because the division between the self and the other is gone. There is a supreme intelligence, which is not the cunning of thought, but the perception of what is true. This is the ultimate vitality. It has nothing to do with age. A mind that has understood the nature of the self is forever young, forever new, because it is no longer caught in the net of time, which is the movement of the self. Therefore you came asking for 3 vitamins to sustain an old man. But what we have discovered together is that the very search for sustenance for the me is the problem. The solution is not to feed the me, but to see its illusory nature. This seeing is the only action that is required. It is the ultimate revolution. And in the ending of the self, there is the beginning of a life that is truly immeasurable, a life of profound beauty and order. So, the search ends. The striving ceases. You are not a man of 60 seeking energy. In the absence of the me, there is only life. This life is supremely intelligent, endlessly vital, and utterly whole. It doesn't need a vitamin. It is in itself the source of all things. In that quiet, choiceless awareness, you will find all the peace and all the energy that you have been seeking for a lifetime. I came to this video looking for supplements for my father. Now I'm sitting here in silence, realizing the fatigue he talks about has nothing to do with his body. The idea that we are tired because we are carrying the weight of yesterday has completely shaken me. This is one of those videos that changes not just how you think, but how you see the world. Thank you.